beginning now with your host, Anthony Tyron and Karina Ballista. Right now.
Half a day. We are earlier than normal. Thanks, Jose. And Jose, it's Corina. What did you say, Jose?
I don't know. I forgot already.
I'm just kidding.
Corina Ballista.
I'm just kidding.
I'll write it on the chalkboard 100 times.
I'm just kidding. You're in uniform today. Yay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
So if you guys been watching us, we started this radio show in January. February. February, yes. So, military, we're used to uniforms. So we got Jose his own shirt. We're waiting on the other ones, but we got Jose his own shirt. So it's our HMI logo, and then it just fits, Veterans with Benefits, and then our name. It's just perfect. So today's show, we wanted to go earlier because we want to talk about the partnership of Ambrose and Folds of Honor, or Anheuser-Busch Budweiser parent company, Folds of Honor. I think we're going to have a call in, but just to summarize it, did you want to summarize it, Anthony?
Yeah, maybe we could start with how all this had worked out or come to where we're at today. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. So what happened was, I want to say back last year in April, we started to do some work over at Ambrose, and we were informed that both of the brothers that were there at Ambrose at the time were actually both veterans. And what we wanted to do was just find out about where they were at with their journey in the VA process, and we started working with them. And they allowed us to hold kind of like an informational at their office there in Ambrose. And when we got there, I think we probably had 10 people that were probably part of Ambrose. And of the 10, we had already spoken to 2 or 3 of them already. And one of them was still in the process, and the others we just started to get them familiar with what they needed to do, like doing their intent to file and getting them to do getting their claims in and getting a va.gov account created. So that was the start of how Ambrose was allowed us to be partners with them. And they have been very, very, very helpful with a lot of the events that we're doing. And it was quite interesting when we first started meeting with them and talking to them. They've been so supportive of all our events and taking care of our veterans. And it almost seems like it just falls into place because the 2 brothers are also veterans. And understanding what we did and how we took care of some of the employees there, they were very helpful and interested in us continuing to do what we do. So that essentially was our initial start with Ambrose. And I believe one of the folks that helped us was Ike. Ike was introducing us to John Myers and the whole idea behind what Ambrose does and how John was, from Ambrose and so on and so forth. So that's essentially how the...
So fast forward to today.
Okay.
Fast forward to today. So they donate to many of our events.
Symposium, boot camp.
Symposium, our boot camp,
Just
5K,
about every one of them,
every boot camp, yes. So we got a message asking us to come for a meeting, and we're like, sure, okay. I didn't know what we were going there for. Just that I know it was an event that they're hosting or sponsoring. So when we sat down and they're explaining it to us, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry, because Ambrose is celebrating their 75th anniversary this year, and so they're going to put on a fishing derby
Yes.
in September. So September 14th, if you're a veteran and you love to fish, please get ready, save the date. There's going to be a free concert. I know Jeff's going to call in and talk more about that. But what we want to promote, John Myers told us, oh, hey, by the way, we're also bringing someone in, and that's Rocky Sickman. So Rocky Sickman is a POW of the Iranian, what was it?
Crisis.
Crisis, yes. And so he spent 444 days in captivity, and he actually wrote a book about it. So what's the connection? So Rocky Sickman works at Anheuser-Busch.
Yes.
So he works there, and Colonel Dan Rooney?
Yes.
Approached him and said, hey, I'm starting this nonprofit organization called Folds of Honor, and will you support us? And him being a veteran, of course he did. So now 14 years later, Folds of Honor and Anheuser-Busch have sponsored over 5,000 scholarships. So it used to be just to the fallen and the disabled veterans, but now they've included first responders.
Yes.
So how do they get the money? What's a sponsorship? So Anthony's going to show you in the camera the case of Budweiser. This will be pushed out this week, I think, on Guam. So this is what it looks like. You'll see the Folds of Honor flag. Can you show the Folds of Honor flag?
I'm showing it. Yeah.
The other side. The other side. Yes, right there. So Folds of Honor. So for every case that's sold, Budweiser will donate a percentage of the sales up to September 1st. So it runs from May to September 1st, and so this is what it will look like. So what time did you say Jeff was going to call? Because I'm gonna talk about everything.
Yeah, he's supposed to be calling in by now.
He's supposed to call. No worries. Okay, so because of the anniversary, the 75th anniversary, so I know one of the big detail that he shared was you have to have a veteran on your boat to get, I think it's a derby pricing.
Yes.
There's a certain derby
Entry
pricing.
fee, yes.
Entry fee.
That's right.
For if you have a veteran on board. But I know there are a lot of veterans who like to fish.
Yes, quite a few.
Yeah.
And so a little bit more about what goes on with, you mentioned that there's going to be the fishing derby.
Yes.
What else is there going to be?
Oh, there's going to be a free concert.
Oh, wow. And the proceeds are going to go to?
HMI.
And that would be to take care of all the veteran events that we're holding and hosting.
Oh my gosh, so many.
Right. So this is one way. If you are active duty, if you are a veteran, if you want to volunteer your time and come help the folks that are helping us, this is one way to do it. If you want to enter into the fishing derby, it's a one-day fishing derby. All the details will be coming out soon. And we're getting everyone prepped up so they can save the date. And
yes. When
they do that, right, there's special pricing for veterans and everyone else. I think it's $150. I think is the price, and then.
But if it's a veteran,
I think it's $75.
It's $75. Yes.
Okay. So, and then when it comes down to volunteering, right, I think the details are going to be coming out.
Yes.
And this is an event that is honoring the 75th anniversary.
Yes.
So that's going to be something that we want to make sure we get everyone out there to take part in, especially our veterans. You got to get out there, and then our active duty as well.
Yes. So can you tell them a little bit about the brewing, how the veterans brewed the beer?
So one of the stories that John was telling us and Jeff was the breweries throughout the United States had several veterans inside of them, and what they did was they got them together and they created a special brew created by veterans. So that's one of the the things that they have been doing inside of Anheuser-Busch to really, show their support for our veterans, and on top of also being a part of the Folds of Honor. So there are a lot of things, just like what they do out here on Guam. John Myers and the Ambrose family have been very, very, very helpful with us, and we continue to announce how they help us, and they do exactly what they're doing when they're outside of Guam in the continental United States, by supporting veterans. And what they do here is the same as what they do stateside. I think we probably would like more help if we can, but right now we will take all this good help that they're giving us for now. Did I answer?
Sort of.
Okay, what was it again?
It was the story of the veterans coming together to brew the beer.
Yes.
And then they delivered the beer through parachutes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, so they crated it all up. They put the veterans together on a bus, and they took them to an undisclosed location, and it was airdropped from one of the aircrafts. I don't remember. Was it a Air Force?
I don't remember what aircraft, but I think it was the Air Force.
It looked like it was a military aircraft. And there's a video that we're putting out. Did you put that out?
I did, but not everyone in Radio Land is in our chats. I mean,
Okay.
we have a lot of people in our chat groups, but you can watch it on YouTube. What else? Just search Folds of Honor,
Oh, there we go.
Anheuser-Busch, or Folds of Honor, Budweiser. Is that
All right.
Jeff?
I think this is Jeff. He's here to save me. All right, so let me go to the line here. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, yes. Hi,
Oh.
it's me.
Man, I'm glad you're calling in to save me.
He's not saving you. You know what you're talking about. We're just saving the information for you, Jeff, or John.
And
Yeah, I caught a little clip of it. You guys are talking about the Folds of Honor still.
right, yeah, and we're just trying to explain all the good things that are out there. And when John was talking about it, and everyone in the office when we had our meeting, that was such a man. I was like, man, this is big, right? This is something that they do very often out there. And as you said, right, this is John Myers' is a baby, right?
What was that?
This is his thing, right? He's really
Yes,
huge on
absolutely.
doing this, and we're not trying to steal any of his thunder, but it's
Yeah.
always nice to really talk about all these things. And by the way, most of this stuff is out on like the internet already, right? So
Yep.
there's no secret here other than maybe getting it put back out again, right, to raise more funds for the Folds of Honor. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Folds of Honor goes to the survivors of the fallen,
Okay.
and there's a guy. His name is Rocky Sickman. Did you guys mention his name before?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
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 Okay. So he's the ambassador, and the good news is Rocky will be on island to talk a little bit more about that program.
Yes, that's awesome. And you say he travels around the country and in the United States to talk a little bit about his experience and the things that he had gone through as a prisoner of war, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Did you guys get a little chance to talk about that as well?
We did talk about his
him? Okay, good.
his 444 days in captivity. Yes.
44 days of
Yeah.
prisoner of war in Iran.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. His story is it's incredible, man. To have lived through something like that and then ultimately share his story with everybody. And he's going to be on island. He's going to be able to interact with the local vets, just the community in general.
Yes.
Stop by a few military establishments. He wants to see everything: the MWRs, the VFWs, the Legions,
American Legion, yeah. And
American Legions. That's right.
yes, and so we've already is it Commander
DeVore.
Man, he's going to be mad at me. I keep messing his name up. But the Joint Region Commander, we met him at the Saturday event for women's down in EPOW. And I brought it up to him, and I said, hey, there's a big event coming out, right? A big name, Rocky Sickman. I talked a little bit about it, and I told him once we get a little bit more details from John, we're gonna push that out, right? And Ambrose, right? So
Yeah.
that's what we mentioned, and then I brought it up to my son, who's a federal firefighter, and I mentioned that to him, and I said, hey, this guy is coming out from Anheuser-Busch, and he's part of Folds of Honor, and he liked to see a lot of the first responders too, so we did already start the reaching out to people, letting them know exactly what you guys had mentioned to us.
Yeah. So, I think a very important thing is to mark your calendars, save the dates.
Awesome.
Did you guys get a chance to talk about the 75th anniversary for Ambrose as well?
Just a little bit. We're waiting for you to give them more details.
Okay, great. Save the date. The date's going to be September 14th. Ambrose is going to be hosting or holding their 75th anniversary fishing tournament on Guam.
Awesome.
So we got a lot of good information going to come out. They're still working on some things to finalize. But once all that stuff is finalized, we'll go ahead and put out the information. But definitely look forward to a wonderful day, giving back to our veterans,
Awesome.
and giving back to the community for supporting Ambrose Inc.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
we're happy to be partners with Ambrose, and we can't stop saying all the good things about what's going on. And we talk about the two owners, they're being veterans as well, and that's huge, right? And it's so easy for them when we say, hey, we need a little help with this and that, right? Oh, it's for the veterans, there's never like a real, hesitation, right? What do you guys need, right? It's and that goes straight across to everybody in you guys' office that we talk to, right? You guys are very, very supportive of our veterans, and we definitely appreciate that.
Jeff, are you allowed to share who the band is that will be coming?
As I mentioned, things are still being finalized.
Okay.
So just be looking forward to a great event.
Okay.
We're looking at having the fishing tournament in the morning hours, and then right after the fishing tournament would be the kickoff of Ambrose's 75th anniversary event. So definitely be looking forward to a full week of wonderful things happening for the community.
Awesome. And we have the opportunity maybe of getting John in here once he has a few more details, and to talk a little bit more about that's his project, and I can imagine with everything he shared with us that we all want to be a part of that, and it'll be really great to hear Rocky and he's been here before, you said, correct?
Oh yes, he's been here multiple times. So he was he had a responsibility for handling the military accounts under Anheuser-Busch or AB InBev, and he since retired from AB InBev, but is still very still around for Guam, for the island.
But when he came before, he hadn't done some of the things he's doing today, where he's doing some talks and meeting with the folks, or did he do that as well?
Well, he always shares his experience when he's here, but yeah, mostly in the past, we mostly do with work with the company, with Budweiser, the company. Yeah.
So this would be awesome, because we'll finally be able to get a little piece of his history and what had happened with him and his service. So that's something that's very very, very helpful, and I'm sure all our veterans will want to see that, and maybe, who knows, maybe a book signing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, and yes, for the listeners out there, the vets, stay tuned, because definitely more information is going to come out on this. And I'm sure we'll be back on the radio talking about it again with
Okay.
more information.
Yes, I'm excited. And I think you're a veteran too, yes?
Yes, I'm a veteran as well. Yeah, thank you.
I was trying to remind Anthony that you're a veteran too, but,
Yeah.
but yes.
And thank you for your
Yes,
service.
I am. Well, thank you guys. Thanks to all the vets that are out there listening as well.
Okay. All right.
Definitely.
So anything else you want to talk about? Because we could keep you on here a lot longer if you like.
Oh man, I wish I could, but I think I'll let you guys take care of business, and definitely look forward to getting back on the radio with you guys to get more information out to the listeners.
Okay. All right. Hey, we appreciate that. And if John is listening, or the folks that might be
Here on Island.
here on island, if they're willing to call in, we can always pick that up and continue from there. In the meantime, we'll keep doing what we're doing. So thank you again, Jeff, and thank you, Ambrose, for all you do for us. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you guys. Thank you, HMI. Thanks to all the vets out there. Talk to you guys later.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
And we'll go on a break. Yes, we'll go on a break and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jerry Roberts. What's happening in the workplace? What about your job and career? What ideas will find their way into your world? That's what you get with The Extra Point every day on The Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 FM. Sometimes it's about what's in the news, or working relationships, or how to get further and do better. I try to make it interesting, inspiring, and hopefully sneak a little fun in too. Be a part of it. 7:25 weekday mornings. The Extra Point. Brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
Ooh, and we're back. Hello. So I want to say hi to the people online. Edward says half a day. Maria says buenas. Brennan says Jigo Jarhead sending good vibes to all veteran warfighters.
Hey, Brennan.
And then Vincent, half a day. So earlier, did you want to say hi?
I wanted to say hello to Knox and Aaliyah.
Hey. So we did, if you just hopped on, we talked about Folds of Honor and the partnership between Budweiser and Folds of Honor, the 14-year partnership. They were able to send over 5,000 dependents and spouses paid for their
tuition?
scholarships.
Oh,
yes.
very good.
Like, what was that word? I'm like trying to, the word school scholarships, that word.
Yes.
So that's what we did. We had we just had Jeff call in and talk more about the 75th anniversary of Ambrose, and them bringing John Meyer told us that Rocky Sickman's coming, and Rocky Sickman is POW of the Iran crisis. Yes. And he wrote a book.
Yes.
We did some research on him. He wrote a book, and you can look on YouTube, and there are a lot of videos. I think one of the videos that I watched, I was like, oh man, this it's like a tearjerker about Folds of Honor and the recipients
And
and
the
the
founder?
history.
Who's the founder again? Lieutenant Colonel
Dan
Rooney,
Rooney.
you said, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Of Folds of Honor. And then also, John gave us some pins. Thank you, John.
Yes.
Can they see our pins? Can they see my pin? I think I can see my pin. Let me see yours. Where's yours? Oh, yours is on your hat.
Yes, mine is up here.
Cool. I like these because they have the magnet in the back and not the, like you stick it through and then it
Oh, you got
I
the
put
special
holes.
one then.
Why yours doesn't have
Let me
magnets?
see.
Mine has a magnet.
Let me see. Oh no!
Let me see yours.
I gotta
It doesn't
talk
have
to,
a magnet?
I gotta talk to John about that. I got the
John Myers, don't give him one.
I got the pin one. Oh my goodness!
It put a hole in your hat.
Yes, it's okay. It's well worth it. But okay. So what else did we want?
So that's what we wanted to cover. So we were gonna have a guest come in, but I'm not sure if they're on island or not. So we had Jeff call in. So thank you for the time,
Yes.
to dedicate to Folds of Honor and Budweiser and the great partnership. Some of those videos, I swear, like, man, the more you do research on the recipients.
And maybe this is a good time to segue into a few things that we've been going over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we could carry on into our regular show, right? So this Saturday we were.
You want to go backwards? Or you want to start from last week, Monday?
I'll let you decide. I didn't. It doesn't matter. What do you want to
I think
do?
we should start from last week, Monday.
Okay, so go.
We
You're on.
had Brandon Barra on.
Okay, very
And then
nice.
then that's where we talked about Frank the Crank's fundraiser that he wants to do for us. It's the run
Yes.
from point to point, and we're gonna end it at Meleso Pier.
Mm-hmm.
More details to come, but the most important thing is Frank is so excited to do this.
Yes.
He's like, I want to do this for the veterans.
I think you mentioned something about if people are riding their bikes, he's not sure how they can keep up. That's
Yes.
That's terrible. I mean, he's going to go train. So you bike riders out there, if you want to come support, you better bring your pedaling feet because this guy's he's running.
Yes. And then the next thing we talked about, that's something we're planning, our golf tournament, our HMI golf tournament. This is our first.
Yes.
Thank you to General Paulino
Yes.
for coordinating it because we don't know how to spell golf, but he does. There's so much that goes on in a golf fundraiser. I had no clue.
And it's really very important for us to really talk about a lot of these folks that bring us guidance and are helping us with a lot of the things that we do. And it kind of, when you're doing this kind of thing of helping veterans and providing the needs for our veterans, right? There's always other folks out there that are looking at what we're doing and trying to make it better or hoping to improve it somehow, and they want to be a part of something that's taking care of our veterans, and a lot of them are our veterans as well, which means that they're all a part of what we're doing, and none of this really is just one person when it comes to HMI, right? It's for all veterans, and all are invited to come and be a part of this. The other day, somebody told me they can't stop what you're doing. Right? I said, what do you mean by that? He goes, it's a movement. You got veterans getting taken care of. You're working with them, and they're all continuing to be involved in it, and they like it. So it's very hard to stop that because it's something that the veteran is being taken care of. They're seeing more things coming around to help them, unlike maybe in years past where it might have been a little bit more difficult to navigate the system and to just be out there talking about being a veteran and maybe the scarce resources, not being able to find a place to go to that would be able to afford the current information that's available to come to the veteran. So now is the best time ever to be a veteran.
Yep, and it's a good reminder that if you guys do have any questions or you want to ask us anything, you can call us at 671-888-TALK. And we're on the point at
The point.
93.3. Yes.
Okay.
Well, because sometimes veterans are like, I'm watching on YouTube, but how do I watch it on the radio? And I always, say 93.3. And a lot of veterans are like, we hear you because we're always on 93.3. Because, I listen to Ray, then listen to Tall Tales
Yes.
with Jose over there.
That's right.
And then roll into our show on Mondays.
And by the way, Tall Tales is Bob Klitsky, and he's a veteran too.
Yes.
We got veterans all around us, so we have to be careful.
And then we have Jose over there. He's the son of a veteran.
Yes. So
That sounded almost profane. I'll take that. You son of a veteran.
hey, we start.
Oh, I know what he meant. Son
Maybe
of a
we'll-
veteran.
Maybe we'll get a shirt.
Son
There
of
you
a
go.
veteran. Yes.
You
I'm
son
proud
of
of my
a
dad's
veteran.
status.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
My dad served in the Vietnam War.
That's great.
Awesome.
That was an
Yes.
incredible time for him.
Yes, and maybe this is another good segue into. Or are you good to go on your?
We're still going.
You're
We're still
still
talking
going.
about all the
Okay.
things we did last week. Well, did you want to change it? Did you want to talk
No,
about
no,
something
no.
else?
Go ahead. Let's go.
Okay, because we're not done yet. We did a lot in 1 week.
Yes.
So we met with UOG.
Okay.
And we talked to UOG because we're a nonprofit organization, and we met them at the chamber, right? The chamber meeting. We attended. The president of UOG spoke, and
Yes.
we met with UOG, and we were like, how can we partner? So we learned some things that we didn't know. So if you're a veteran and you still have your GI Bill to use, or if you're service connected and using voc rehab, you can go meet with the counselors. There's a counselor specifically for veterans.
Is that what's her name? The new lady,
Miss R.
the VRE, right?
Yes.
Tish?
No. Oh, not her.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm talking about UOG.
Oh,
What are you
okay.
talking about?
Yeah, but okay, go ahead.
Oh, so the VRNE person is Tish Ford.
Yes.
Yes,
But-
Letitia
and-
Ford
And she did go meet with the folks up there, right?
at UOG.
Because
Yes.
there's some portion of that requires education at VRE.
Yes. Is it Eileen that we met with?
Eileen, yes.
Eileen
Artero.
Yes. Eileen Artero.
And
And
Ron Van Dam?
Ron.
what?
You're messing up his name. If you're listening, Ron, that was Anthony, not me.
Well,
I think it's Ron Van
Don.
Ron Van Don.
yeah, he's
Yes.
more cool than
Yes.
Van Dam. All right.
So we had so much to talk about, and there is a function that we're going to plan.
Yes.
The more details to come, because when everyone meets HMI, it's, I don't know, but we just start getting events out of everyone. I think the movement, right, that Anthony talked about earlier, is catching on, especially since it's Year of the Veteran.
Yes.
Oh, Richard Tidegui pushed out the that 5K.
Yes, that's coming.
Details
but you're,
coming.
You're
I know.
advancing. Come on, you
Sorry.
gotta go back.
I'm gonna stay on track.
Yes,
There's
please.
just so much stuff. I don't know. There's so much stuff. Okay, and then we already talked about Ambrose. The support. Oh, the Women Veteran event. We had the Women Veteran event. HMI hosted a Women Veteran event at Capitol Kitchen
Yes.
on Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
And
The guest speaker was.
and the guest speaker was Captain Damon.
She is the
She's
executive
she's
officer.
the XO of Naval Hospital.
Yes.
Great speech.
Uh-huh. And
She talked about the history of women in the military, which is what the day is.
Yeah.
The day is not specifically for women veterans. It's not a Women Veterans Day, because all the men are getting mad. Well, what about the women? Or what about the men? But that's not what it was for. It was the day we were allowed to raise our right hand and join the military legally.
Yes. Uh-huh. And
And then
she was by the way, she served 2 tours in
in
Iraq.
Iraq, yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
so if you look at the contribution of women in the service today, right? They are actually going to combat now.
Yes.
When we talk about going to combat, right? They're setting up the MASH tents, for example, right? And they're caring for our wounded, right, when they're out there in the battlefield, and she was able to do that. And if you ever get an opportunity to talk to her and listen to the story she tells, she told it at the Memorial Day event, and you'd be pleased to know that our women warfighters are out there, and they are in harm's way a lot of times. So it's no longer the idea that women aren't out in the battlefields, and even if it's to care for our veterans, they're still in harm's way in a big way. So,
and one of the, I don't want to say last, but one of the other things that we did was push out our letter of support for the Medal of Honor candidates.
yes. Oh, so that's the one I was trying to touch
Oh,
on.
okay.
The Medal of
Okay.
Honor. So
he's like, when is she gonna talk about that?
yeah. So
I had to go in order.
yeah. So we got word from our congressman that they were the congressman's office that they were pushing this our candidates before Congress to try to get them move forward on their Medal of Honors, right, or medals of honor, and it's been quite some time, and historically no one from Guam has ever been awarded the Medal of Honor. I think that's just based on what we're seeing. There could be Chamorros maybe somewhere else that may have gotten the Medal of Honor, but I could be wrong in that regard. But right now, historically, they're saying nobody from Guam has ever been awarded the Medal of Honor. Recently in Hawaii, and by the way, we fall under Hawaii, so it's interesting that we were able to push someone from out in Hawaii, and they got their first Medal of Honor recipient, and that's good. Congratulations to them. It would have been nice if we could have maybe had these three as well, put forward with the one person from Hawaii, being that Hawaii is supposed to be taking the leadership for Guam. We would hope that would have happened. But quite a few things with the Medal of Honor.
Oh, yes.
There was a woman that actually got the Medal of Honor. And I think there's quite a bit of information about the Medal of Honor that, is pretty interesting. There's only so many people that have received the Medal of Honor. So that's quite interesting. I think there's 63 that are living, and only 4,000 or 5,000 have ever been given out since the Civil War.
And we did talk about what are some of the what because I know you mentioned that a Medal of Honor recipient can be buried at the
Arlington.
Yes. Arlington, is it National?
Yes.
Yes. And then also you talked about there was one woman?
Yes, just one woman that they mentioned.
That received it?
Yes.
Oh, let me say hi to those online. Sorry. Uncle Johnny Tyson says, great event to recognize the women. Good job, HMI. And hi, Auntie Bobby. And then Auntie, and Auntie Bobby goes, Viva HMI, how was the Zumbathon? We haven't gotten to that yet. We're still on the Medal of Honor support.
Yes, and so, by the way, children of Medal of Honor recipients get to go to the academies. That's
all military academies.
Yes,
so they don't need a letter of recommendation. They don't need their congressman's push.
It looks like they're allowed to go straight in, and that is awesome. You know what I mean? And there's more, right? Let's see. They get to travel Space A, right?
Oh wow.
Of course, they get access to the commissaries. They get special monthly pension as well.
Oh, and they also get that special ID.
Yes, and they get to go to. They're invited to all the functions, right? Like inaugurations and things of the sort. And I think I was talking to Charlie about this, right? And it's such a feat to even try to become a Medal of Honor recipient. And I was also told that there are quite a few Chamorros or people from Guam that may have been candidates for this Medal of Honor, but it has not been pushed forward. And I think this could be something that we all should be maybe taking a look at and getting those folks that are truly candidates to get their story out there, because if they had these heroic acts and they were going unrecognized, we need to push them.
Yes.
Now, on top of that, if Congress won't acknowledge them, if Hawaii, who is our leaders supposedly because of our region and where we rank, maybe this is a good time for us to reach out to them and say, hey, Hawaii, if there's something you can do for us, we greatly appreciate it. I mean, recognizing people for the Medal of Honor is not something that, everybody gets that distinction. And it is the highest honor being in service. And maybe that's something we could look at. So
you also mentioned that Harry S. Truman was nominated, and he what?
He turned it down.
Yeah.
But also Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So, we had two presidents that, were nominated for the Medal of Honor, but only one accepted it, which was Teddy Roosevelt. So that's pretty interesting.
Yes.
Only one woman. I think one of the most decorated ones was Audie Murphy, but I don't know if he got a Medal of Honor. It didn't look like it based on what I was looking at.
And then Auntie Bobby said, how was the Zumbathon? So now that leads us into the Zumbathon. That was Saturday. Oh, we'll take a break. We're going to take a break.
And then we'll let them know.
We'll be right back. You're
It was
listening
fun.
to us on The Point, 93.3. Normally we're on 6 to 7, but we got the extra hour. Thanks, Jose, for the Folds of Honor. We'll be right back.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. More services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Alpha Day, Mark Beneventi from Security Title here with a little information about deeds. In the world of real estate, a deed is the most common way to transfer property and ownership. Whether you're transferring a house in Chico, a hotel in Tumon, or a ranch in Talipopo, the deed will describe the property boundaries, any restrictions, and the exact name of the new owner. Whether you're selling, buying, or even inheriting property, the deed transferring title is essential. When it comes to real estate, knowledge is key. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Yes. And we're back. You're listening to us on 93.3. You can call in at 671-888-TALK on The Point. So we have some questions online. Did you change your time? No. So what we did was we borrowed some time from Jose and Tall Tales. So what we wanted to do was if we watch the replay, catch the show. We started at 5. We talked about the partnership between Budweiser and Folds of Honor, and we had Ambrose call in because they are pushing out this week until September the limited edition case of Budweiser, and then it has the Folds of Honor flag. So they've been partners for 14 years. So that's why we had the 1 hour so we can push this. Then we had Ambrose call in and talk about it. And so that's what the hour is for. We did not, and thank you. Thank you. Totally
I'm playing Vanna White just for now. Here is the Budweiser beer. So for those of you that are not seeing it, it'll be coming out, and it's going to be something that, proceeds from the purchase of the Budweiser is going to go to Folds of Honor.
Yes. So for every case that's sold, Folds of Honor Ambrose Budweiser will donate to Folds of Honor for the scholarship. So they have provided over 5,000 scholarships for the fallen and disabled veterans. Now they've included first responders. So we did not change our time. And then Francisco says, great show, HMI, totally different segment from VA Talk Show. It's good to know recognizing veterans' accomplishments. So we did want to talk about Zumbathon. So that was the last thing that we did is Zumbathon.
I have a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
For those of us who are watching our figure, like
Yes.
me, increase, is there a Bud Light version of the Folds of Honor case, or is this just the red?
No, I think it's just Budweiser.
Okay.
I
That's
think
a
it's just
sacrifice we'll have
Budweiser.
to make.
Yes, just Budweiser.
Just a couple more laps will do, and you'll be fine.
I'm honored to do it.
Take the stairs.
I'll finish it after I finish the 12.
Yes, awesome.
So there's also bottles. So you can look it up on the Budweiser. If you just Google Budweiser Folds of Honor,
Is that? Are you talking about the veteran brew?
no,
Oh, just
bottles.
this. Okay,
There's bottles.
okay.
The
Because
2024 campaign is the bottles
I
as
really
well.
want to get the camouflage can.
That one is cool.
That was super cool. They said it came out already, but I think it was limited edition. But
I think John did say limited edition. Yes.
hopefully we can get it again.
Yes.
It's just super cool.
Yes. So Zumbathon brings us to our Zumbathon.
Yay!
It was so much fun. Dancing in the rain. We danced in the rain. Thank you to D6 Fitness for doing that for HMI. It was for the rooftop. It was so good.
So all I have to say is I was there, and these ladies love that Zumba stuff. And I was standing there watching, and I was like, I don't think I would do that. But as I was watching them, they were really into this stuff. And I think it was Adrian and Mar, right?
Yes.
They were really up there doing their thing too, right? So that was really, really nice, you know? And
Yes.
and all the ladies, I mean, we had two kind of it looks
Experienced?
like yes, they were pretty good at it, but then there were some folks that were kind of didn't do this all the time.
Oh, but they loved it
Oh,
still.
they did. And
Yes.
They take a break and then jump back in right away. I was
Yeah,
like,
so if you've never done a Zumbathon, it was 2 hours straight of
oh
dancing.
my gosh. I was tired standing there.
We took a few water breaks, but man, it was fun. Do you have any of those pictures, Jose? Maybe I should have sent them to you.
No, I think I just got the before, but none of the actual
The
Zumba
Zumba
activity.
pictures.
Yeah,
No worries. I'll send it to you during the break.
Yeah, we're trying to keep them like, you know, when these stars wake up in the movies, right? They're all makeup and they're so we want to keep everyone looking good when we got them on the show.
So Amanda was there.
Oh yes.
Yes, Amanda was there. Amanda Shelton was there, and she stayed for
She
most
knows
of the
how
time.
to do the Zumba stuff. I was like,
Yes.
wow.
And she also mentioned, because we went, and then there was also the Women Better event on Saturday. Sorry,
Yes.
I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
So that one was the governor's proclamation and the legislature's proclamation proclaiming June 12th of every year Women Recognition Day, I think. So she came up to me at that function, and she's like, Karina, you didn't tell me it was a Zumbathon. I'm like, sorry, are you coming? And so we had to leave that function early to go get ready for our fundraiser, but we had a great time, and I hope, we have another one soon, because it was really fun.
And we met a bunch of folks down at the EPOW event, right?
Oh yes. So some of the women veterans that were there, the guest speaker was Rose Blend. We had some of the ladies from Woman Wax. The Wax were there.
Yes. Women Army Corps.
Women Army Corps. We had Rose Moffness. We had Joanne St. Augustine,
Yes.
woman veteran. We had Major Roberto?
Yes.
Major
Yes.
Roberto was there. We had
I think it's a Cruz and man, I don't have all the names.
and then we had the Joint Region Commander there.
Yes.
DeVore.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to say his name.
He's gonna be mad at me.
Because you might ruin it. If you're listening,
DeVore.
sir, Anthony's ruining your name, not me. Who else did we have? We had
George. What was Lieutenant George, right?
yes,
She's-
Lieutenant
she's the
George.
aide
She's
to-
the aide to
Yes.
she's the aide to
Devor.
DeVore. Yes.
Devor.
And then who else did we have? Did we have anyone from? I don't think we had one from Navy.
Yeah, that's Navy.
No, sorry, no, Camp Blas or Anderson.
No, but we had one Air Force lady there, but I don't think we had a. Oh, was it the chaplain or the? Yes.
Yes,
that's
the
Air Force,
chaplain.
right?
Yes, she was Air Force.
Yes. Okay.
There was a lot of women veterans there.
Then we had the governor was there.
Oh, yes, the governor was there.
Some senators were there.
Yes,
Okay.
we had Senator Amanda Shelton, we had Speaker Terlahi, we had Senator San Augustine, we had
Jesse
Lujan, Senator Lujan.
I don't know if that was. I don't know if I remember seeing Sabina.
Yes, yes, we had her there.
Paris, right?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
she was there.
Okay.
We had Delilah, woman veteran.
Yes.
She's fun. We had Jen and Irene.
Yes,
they were
from
there.
the Legion.
From the American Legion, yes.
Yes.
Trying to see.
The director was there. Then
Oh,
we
yes.
had
The GOVA director was there.
GY was there.
Oh, yes. And then Dana.
What's the new group called? Women's.
It's a women's committee.
Yes.
Women's committee, yes.
And that's Dana.
Hannah, and then.
Munoz.
What's her name? Yes. Munoz, yes.
Yes. So
It was cool. We had free ice cream.
And the food was delicious.
Yes,
the
I think
setup was
Outback,
nice.
and
Yes.
someone provided a pig.
Yes.
Man, if you missed it, I'm
Yeah.
sad you guys missed it, but it was a good event.
Johnny Atulai was there. And
Oh, he was there. He was taking names.
oh my goodness.
He was taking names of all the women veterans that showed up.
And Auntie Bobby was there with him.
Yes, she was. Mm-hmm. And then go ahead.
We also had our good friend from Japan, Arlington Lewis.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yes,
he's
Lewis
flown
came.
in from Japan, and he went and took advantage of the event, and he bought 2 shirts, right?
Oh, yes, he bought 2 shirts. There are some women veteran event shirts. Those are really nice. So the next hour, we're going to have on Amanda Shelton. So, Jose, are we taking a break before we go on to the next? Yes. Yes. Okay.
3 minutes.
Oh, about 3 minutes. You know, it's like when we have a guest speaker on, and you know your what is it? I say, okay, if you had 1 minute to say something to anyone, right? It's that kind of, but it's not that pressure. But I do want to say that it was a very busy week, and we got through it. And then it was Father's Day yesterday. So it's Father's Day in the States. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, veteran fathers. And I know HMI pushed a message out because, like we always do for all of the events. And I told Anthony, let's tailor it to the fathers. You know, when they were serving, they missed a lot of important events. So now that you're home and you're a veteran, you know, take time to be with your family. Did you want to add anything else?
So yeah, we wanted to just.
Oh, yours is off.
My bad. So I just wanted to just once again, right? We had this hour given to us by Jose and
Thank you, Jose.
Bob Kelly and
Ray.
right? And we just wanted to talk about the things that Ambrose will be doing. The
Both of
fishing derby that's coming up in September. Save the date, you veterans. You're gonna have an opportunity to be able to be a part of that. We're gonna need volunteers for that. So. Even if you're active duty, it's good to come in and take care of that.
Yep.
Thank you, Budweiser, for all you do for us, Ambrose, and everyone over there, John Myers,
Yes.
Jeff, and the whole gang over there.
And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. 671-888-TALK. You're listening to The Point on 93.3.
Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
A warning from Israel. I'm Ted Lindner, Fox News. The warning to Hezbollah following the terrorist organization's growing involvement in the Israel war against Hamas. The IDF spokesman this weekend, Admiral Daniel Hagari, saying Hezbollah has fired more than 5,000 rockets, missiles, and drones into Israel from its northern border with Lebanon since the Hamas war started with that brutal attack back on October 7th.
October 7th cannot, will not happen again on any one of Israel's border.
Admiral Hagari saying that Israel will continue its fight against all of Iran's proxies, no matter the location. A potential ceasefire with Hamas has not been agreed to after Hamas rejected the latest proposal. It's a week filled with foreign policy and local campaigning at the White House. Fox's Jill Nato taking a look at the week ahead.
President Biden hosts a bilateral meeting with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg later today. Tuesday, it's a White House event celebrating the 12th anniversary of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, or DACA. The program implemented by the Obama administration to protect those who entered the U.S. illegally as children from deportation. Later, the president and first lady head to nearby McLean, Virginia for a campaign reception. Then they're off to Delaware for some time at Rehoboth Beach. And on Thursday, the president heads to Camp David. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
And Broadway's Best turning out at New York City's Lincoln Center for the Tony Awards on Sunday night. The Best New Musical going to The Outsiders, based on the classic young adult novel by S.E. Hinton. It's about rival Oklahoma gangs in the 60s, the age-old story of the haves and the have-nots. Best Play going to Stereophonic, the story about the challenges faced by a Fleetwood Mac-style band as they recorded an album. America's listening to Fox News.
Is KFC's new pizza?
Fried chicken? That's our pizza.
That's right. You think KFC's new pizza isn't pizza because it's made with crispy fried chicken? You think the marinara, mozzarella, and pepperoni aren't enough? Well, you're right. It's not pizza. It's chizza. Only at KFC.
Now on Guam for a limited time, the new KFC Chizza. Grab yours today at your favorite KFC restaurant or order at kfcguam.com. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Half a day. This is Michelle from APL Guam. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam and on the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
An illegal immigrant from El Salvador is arrested in Oklahoma for murder and rape, wanted for the killing last year of a Maryland woman.
The murder of Rachel Marin last August left residents fearful and law enforcement officials angry. The arrest on Friday of Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez has eased the fear but not the anger, as the sheriff in Harford County, Maryland, made clear.
I never want him to leave Maryland again. I want him to die in the Maryland jail, Maryland prison system. We don't have the death penalty, so I just hope he spends the rest of his days there.
37-year-old Rachel Marin went for a run last August on a trail in Bel Air, about 30 miles northeast of Baltimore. She never came home. Her body was found the next day on that trail. Police got a DNA match from a home invasion here in L.A. in March 2023.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt. A heat wave building up to hit much of the eastern U.S. with record-setting temperatures this week. Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer.
Millions of people across the country are bracing for dangerously hot temperatures this week. An exceptionally strong heat dome is building over the Midwest and Northeast. Most places are forecast to be in the 90s all week long, but the addition of humidity will make it feel like triple digits in many places.
Make sure you stay up to date with the Fox Weather app. And police in Michigan investigating a deadly shooting near Detroit, along with the suspect's motive.
They're scouring social media, looking for evidence or a manifesto that would reveal the suspect's motive. Police say the 42-year-old suspect appears to have had no connection to the victims. He fired nearly 30 shots, reloading 3 times before leaving the Brooklands Plaza splash pad. Authorities found a 9mm handgun at the scene and used that and other evidence to track the suspect down at a home in Shelby Township.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. Police say the suspect lived with his mother and may have had a mental disability. I'm Ted Lindner, and this is Fox News.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed a company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
This is House Call for Health.
New research finds only a few Americans are getting the recommended lung cancer screenings. A study led by the American Cancer Society analyzing data from around 26,000 Americans who were eligible for lung cancer screenings. The results finding that fewer than 1 in 5 people eligible to get screened for the disease are actually up to date with screenings. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force recommends an annual screening for people at high risk for lung cancer. That includes current smokers between the ages of 50 and 80 and those who may have quit less than 15 years ago. The American Cancer Society says lung cancer is the second most common type of cancer in men and women, not counting skin cancer. For men, prostate cancer is number 1, and for women, breast cancer. But lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths in the U.S. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
More Veterans with Benefits with your host, Anthony Tyrone and Karina Ballista.
And we're back. I have to remind all of us in studio that when this ring is red, we're live. Sometimes we're laughing and joking, but that's okay. So you can call in to 671-888-TALK. You're watching us on The Point, and you're listening to us on 93.3. So if you're on YouTube and Facebook, you can watch us also on The Point on Facebook and on YouTube. Jose, is this also on The Point YouTube or just HMI's?
This is on HMI's YouTube.
HMI's YouTube. Okay, perfect. So Jose let us borrow an hour from his show to talk about the Folds of Honor and the partnership between Folds of Honor and Budweiser. So they've been a partner for 14 years, and they provided over 5,000 scholarships to the fallen and disabled. And now they just, I'm not sure how long the partnership or the expansion was, but 2 first responders. So Anthony has the case over here, and you'll see the Folds of Honor. He's
carrying around his lunch pail.
Yeah, why'd you put it over there?
I'm Vanna White for tonight.
Yes. He tried to put this and have its own camera. No, Anthony, you're going to hold it and show it. That's the Folds of Honor. This is limited edition Folds of Honor. It's, I think Ambrose said it will be pushed out this week. So support veterans, support Folds of Honor, support first responders. Okay. And then I'm wearing the pin, and then thank you, John Myers, and then Anthony has a Folds of Honor pin. Yes. So what the first hour was talking about the history between Budweiser and Folds of Honor and how Ambrose invited HMI to be their recipients of the fundraiser or the function that they're having in September. It's a fishing derby and a free concert, and more details to come. That's right. So that's what the case was doing here. And then, so that was the first hour. So let me just say hello and thank you to our sponsors, of course, Ambrose, Hebzibah Clinic, Zoilo.org, 11Z's, which is right behind the radio station. They offer 11% discount to veterans and military. And then to Guam Eco Surfaces. Am I missing any other sponsors? Yeah, I got Zoilo.
American Legion.
Oh, American Legion. Yes, they have steak day. So every second week on a Saturday, you can go get a steak. I don't know where else you can go for a $25 porterhouse with all the fixings. And there is a caveat to that, but once you go there, you will find out what that is. So second Saturday, American Legion. So now I guess it's time for Veteran of the Week, and we have Miss Sue here, who's going to announce who Veteran of the Week is.
Okay, it's someone very special to my heart and to many. If you are ever involved with the University of Guam Army Senior ROTC program, he is an originator, the original OG that started the program, and it's none other than Command Sergeant Major, U.S. Army Special Forces Green Beret, Francisco Frank Guerrero. He has served 30 years in the military. In '63, he went to basic training at Fort Ord, California, the U.S. Army Training Center, Infantry Company A, 3rd Battalion, 3rd Brigade. Then he served 2 tours in Vietnam, in the Vietnam War, and during his first tour, his combat infantry unit made history. It was the first U.S. Army Combat Infantry Unit, 173rd Airborne Brigade, and I hope I say this right, Bien Hoa, Vietnam, known as the Sky Soldiers. In '68, his second tour was in Nha Trang, Vietnam, and with the U.S. Army 5th Special Forces Group. In between that time, of course, he served in a lot of wonderful places that included Fort Devens, Massachusetts, Panama, Okinawa, Japan, Thailand, Greece, North Carolina, Monterey, Fort Ord, we said, El Paso, Fort Bliss, Kuwait, Turkey, Korea, Fort Gordon, Georgia, and in Guam. And that's why he's very special in my life. He was our senior, where we had Colonel Swanson and Command Sergeant Major Vladimir Jakovenko, and he was at the time Sergeant First Class Guerrero, but they were instrumental in bringing the ROTC program to life and to much success at UOG. In fact, this last May was the 42nd commissioning of officers in the United States Army. So we have much to thank for those who started it, including Command Sergeant Major Guerrero, who was one of my instructors. He is highly decorated. I don't think you'll find an empty spot on his uniform because let me read his commendations. Bronze Oak Leaf, Bronze Valor Device, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Cross of Gallantry with Palm, Vietnam Service Medal, Silver Service Star, Overseas Service Bars, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Non-Commissioned Officer, Professional Development Ribbon, Combat Infantry Badge, Master Parachutist Badge, Special Forces Tab, Ranger Tab, Pathfinder Badge, Scuba Badge, Southwest Asia Service Medal, Bronze Star Starts, Kuwait Liberation Medal with Palm, Expert Badge, M16 Rifle Legion of Merit, Canadian Parachutist Badge, French Army Parachutist Badge, Thai Parachutist Badge, Overseas Service Ribbon. So if you see his uniform, or him in uniform in the photos that Karina will publish on the Veteran of the Week, you'll see how wonderful he is. And he is a living legend. And as we get older, some of us are getting older. We want to always remember and thank and be so grateful to our, especially our Vietnam veterans nowadays. So if you see Command Sergeant Major Frank Guerrero out and about, he was very instrumental in the community after his retirement with Lam Tours he retired from, and he's also a past president and member of the Rotary Club and a member of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. So he is still active in the community. And I'm sorry
Can I add one thing about him?
Ma'am.
Because he's also a member of our Civil Service Commission.
Yes,
really?
that is correct. Thank you.
That's great.
I'm just so proud of him and very happy to announce him as the HMI's Veteran of the Week.
Yay. Thank you so much.
And we wanted to thank Dane Taitanu over at Domino's.
Yes.
So the good Sergeant Major can go over whichever area is closer. I want to say it was Chalampago and Dedido, where he could pick up his pizza.
Free pizza.
Yeah, because Domino's now
Yes.
is sponsoring our Veteran
Yes.
of the Week, and they get a free pizza. So
Thank you, Domino's.
Yes.
And thanks also to Command Sergeant Major's wife, Lillian, for providing information and for taking care of him so well. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
We all cheered.
Yay.
Jose?
Yes, I heard it. Your earphone's not in. That's
I'm
why you didn't
sorry.
hear it.
Okay.
See, that's why it's important to have your earphone in,
Well,
sir.
but
I'm just kidding. So now it's a
Now
great
you got-
segue
now you gotta-
to introduce our guest. Thank you, Sue, for introducing
Yes.
the Veteran of the Week. So now we can introduce our guest.
So I introduce her, or you want?
You can introduce her.
So what we
I was going to have her introduce herself.
Don't fight over me, guys.
But she already said she was already speaking. If anyone can't recognize her voice, go ahead.
So what we normally do is we let our guests introduce themselves. So we'll allow you the honor to introduce yourself like everyone else does.
Sure. Half a day, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Amanda Shelton. I'm a senator in the 37th Guam Legislature. I serve as the legislative secretary, and I'm the chairperson of the Committee on Air and Maritime Transportation, Higher Education, Tourism.
Ooh, we got to talk about that one.
Women, Youth, and Senior Citizens. So,
Which is why it's fitting that you, was it you that led the
Women Veterans Day resolution and legislation. So I introduced the bill a few months ago to proclaim June 12th of every year as Women Veterans Day, in line with many other states across the nation, to recognize all our women veterans for their sacrifice and their service to our island and to our nation. And so we will take that bill up in this month's session in a few days. And I know, as I said to you before, I know with 100% certainty it will pass, because we have every veteran as a co-sponsor and every woman as a co-sponsor. And our colleagues in the legislature are very excited to move it forward to honor our women veterans.
And for as little percentages there are women veterans, you have 2 in the room.
Yes, we do have 2 in a room. 2 in the room. And so when we attended the function on Saturday, the inaugural Women Veterans Day event at EPOW Beach, hosted by the Guam Veteran Affairs Office, I was so impressed to see so many women that I didn't know were veterans that I've known. And I was surprised, but also very happy and honored to be in their presence. And it was a very emotional day for many to be honored that way and to think about their service in a different light, not just, as a regular veteran, but as one who gave so much more out of their life to be away from family, to be mothers, to be caregivers, and to still give their service to their country. So it was very beautiful, very inspirational. If I had a choice in another lifetime, I wish that that was the path I was led down younger in life. But, we're all led to different things. So.
I would do what I normally do to people. Raise your right hand.
Oh, yeah.
He does. He does that. He does that.
I don't know if I'd pass all your tests, sir.
He does that all over the place.
And we also did an event also on Wednesday prior to the
Yes, that was a beautiful
event. There were
event.
more of them there too, right?
Absolutely.
We didn't have the same ones.
Yes, there were. It was a whole different group.
of them.
So
Yes.
I hope that we will see those women again for next year's celebrations. What HMI did was so special to have a lunch and a guest speaker with an inspirational message, and just allow for a time to share stories and to get to know one another. And I got to sit with a young lady who is part of the National Guard. She's been deployed twice. She's a student at the University of Guam, and I just listened to her story and to know that she's lived this whole life, younger than me, lived so much more life than I have lived. And so that's what we need to do, tell these stories and honor these women, women, for what you've done. And that's what you're doing with your organizations.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then, a lot of folks don't know, right? But Miss Sue over here is airborne. So, when they
I
don't
always add aerosol, too.
And on aerosol, too. so what's interesting, right, is you think, in her time, too, right, it wasn't always about, women being afforded those types of trainings back then. So, even her being able to take that on is really interesting, and it's great, right? So you see that things are changing. We gave a talk up at the Air Force, right? And when we were up
the Air Guard,
the Air Guard, right? And there were more women inside that talk than there were men. I was like, wow, this is interesting, right? But it's great.
We're taking over.
We even have a UOG graduate, ROTC graduate, that completed Ranger School.
Oh, wow.
Which was forbidden in my time.
Yeah,
but
and that's a
there might
tough.
have been 2, but I know for sure 1.
And that's a tough training.
Yes,
so kind of reminds us of Demi Moore and right.
Yes.
So they already started paving the way since then, right? Because back then, I don't think that was the case, right?
I don't even think we could go into the combat arms
Right.
back in the 80s.
Yes. So it's moved, and
Except for air defense artillery.
and so awesome, but.
We did have a few questions for Senator Shelton.
Well, and I think she does know some of the things that people may want to be asking about, right? Are like what kinds of things? Because how many? How long have you been in our legislature?
This is my 3rd term in the Guam legislature, so I'm serving in my 6th year.
Oh, wow. So you are a veteran of the legislature.
I guess you could say that. I'm
Okay.
a veteran. I'm not a freshman anymore.
Yes, and tell us a little bit about your experience there, right? Like, what did you see as things that you think may need a little bit improvement, or how does that really work if people are going to be asking?
Well, when I first ran for senator, I was super focused on youth, Manumku, and the environment. That's what I cared about, and that's why I wanted to run. And everyone said, oh, those are like not sexy topics that people want to talk about. They want to talk about jobs and economy and money and those kind of things. Those are platform issues, not the Manumku and not the youth. And I thought, well, this is what I care about. This is what I know. I'm a young person. I want opportunities for young people. I took care of my grandmothers. I took care of my dad. I saw how valuable it was to have those experiences and connections and to learn from our elders and to have those same values. And so those were the things that I really wanted to focus on. So I was very proud of that legislation. First going in, passing a law for elder abuse and creating the Elder Justice Center out of the Public Defender's Office.
Yes.
So those were some of my proudest moments, and helping support youth programs and workforce development to get our young students into pathways for future careers and actual livelihoods, not just, sending them off into the world after high school with no opportunities. But it wasn't always easy. I had to learn very quickly that you have to deal with 14 other personalities and people that you need to work with because you need 8 votes for anything to get done. And so you had to make friends and, make these connections with your coworkers so that they understood how important these issues were too. And it wasn't always easy. Things can get ugly. You watch us. You see there's nothing really flying across the room, but you may see some heated moments and some fireworks at times. And, that passion is necessary so that we can share what it is, how we feel about an issue. And I think the what we can do better is collaborate, listen, understand each other and our points of views, because we are all elected, these 15 people in the legislature, to represent the entire island of Guam. And so everyone there is elected because you have something to offer. Someone saw something in you that they liked. And we need to learn from one another and our experiences and be open to the suggestions, open to what the public says to us, open to, the public comment period, the whole process.
And that's just inside of the legislature, right? So the public process isn't always as nice too, right? We have folks that are, pretty strong about a certain topic one way or the other, and you still have to try to find a common ground for that. Is that correct?
Of course, and that's the beautiful thing about democracy and the legislatures, that we have people who come in to voice their opinions, and all of these opinions matter, and whatever they suggest might be something that you have never thought about. And so it can help make legislation stronger. It can help make our laws better. It can help us, be a stronger community because we have input from more people who have more experience or who see things in a different light. We just had the public hearing a few days ago for our Women Veterans Day bill to make June 12th not a holiday, but to recognize it every year, not an official holiday, not to let it. I wish we could let every woman veteran off work on that day. It's not quite in that bill. But so we had folks come in and who suggested more resources and more services for women veterans, because there are some things that women experience differently in the military and in military service that we may not be thinking about as lawmakers who are, funding different programs. And so to open our minds to those things and to bring awareness to these different issues. That's why all of the public hearing process, the committee process, all of it is so important, to hear those different voices and to know that we have the community coming along with us in the process, because we're there for the people. We're the house of the people.
Okay. All right. And so you talk a little bit about having to get along with just 8 of them to pass a bill, right? Or to help you along with your bill. How many do you have to deal with out in Congress?
Oh, there are much more. There are over 400 members in the U.S. House of Representatives. But I think that my experience here on Guam has been a very positive experience working with colleagues. Every bill that I have introduced and passed has had bipartisan support. It's had votes from both sides. I've been able to work with just about every one of my colleagues in the legislature, and that's the kind of experience that I want to take to Washington, to be able to represent the people of Guam, to have that positive attitude, the hopefulness that you need to really move important issues forward. I've been an effective legislator here on Guam, an effective lawmaker. That's something I know I can do for the people of Guam on the national level in Congress. I understand how it works. I've had a positive experience working for Congresswoman Madeline Berdalio for many years, seeing how she navigated a very, tumultuous situation in D.C., though it has changed. It has probably become more dramatic there, but I've had very good mentors in my life and very good experiences to help me understand how things work and give me that perspective.
So you had an opportunity to see some of the work out there in action in Congress? Mm-hmm. Oh, and you enjoyed it.
Yes, I enjoyed it. So, I don't like the part of this job that a lot of people have said to me, why do you want to move? Why do you want to move to Washington, D.C.? No, that's not my desire at all, because I love Guam so much. Mm-hmm. I've never left Guam. I've always wanted to live here, have my family here, do my schoolwork here, everything, my education, my career. It just happens to be where the job that I want to do is. It's in Washington, D.C., to represent the people of Guam. And so, you won't be there. I won't be there every day of the week, but I know that there is important work to do there for our people.
Yeah, and it's, you consider trying to do things here, right? And you just got to times 100 out there, right? Because there's so many of them to get behind what you need. And I think we're not even a voting delegate. Is that correct?
Yes, we're a non-voting delegate. We have a vote in committee, so whatever committee that you sit on, and that can change from Congress to Congress depending on who's in power and what they want to allow in committees. But I'm ready to do that work. I guess I thought a lot about it before I said I was going to run for this office, because a lot of people told me it was a big risk to leave a job that I knew that I could already do as a senator. They said, "Oh, you're already a good senator. You'll be a shoo-in, no problem." But I thought to myself, who better to represent the island of Guam than someone who's lived here my whole life, experienced everything with the people on the island. I know the issues. Who better to tell that story in Washington? Who better than someone who's worked in the legislature with lawmaking experience to translate those issues into effective policy for the island?
And our Congresswoman is still out there, right?
Oh, yeah, she is.
Do you still communicate with her?
I do. Congressman Berdalio is still our liaison, our governor's liaison to Congress. So she works out there, yes, and I know she'll be coming home soon for Liberation Day, so we can expect a visit from her.
Be sure you let her know that the veterans here still need her help and we need some support.
Yes.
I'm sure she's monitoring our Medal of Honor candidates, right? And
yes,
that's
huge, something that she worked on diligently too. And I can remember retired Colonel Danny Santos visiting us in the office often, talking to her all the time with all of his files and paperwork for the Medal of Honor. And I see how all of that work has been carried on today, and still something worth fighting for our people who have fought for our country and who deserve this recognition.
Okay, and so when we talk about going out there, right? I mean, so out here, you took care of Manomku, you took care of youth, right? Mm-hmm. You do know that sitting in this room, right, we want you to push for our veterans, right?
Of course, yes.
And so you're going to have to add that to your list.
Absolutely. And that's something that I've been doing also in the legislature. So last term, I worked with a cohort of veterans who were all, they were Master of Public Administration students, and they were all from the National Guard, working to get their master's degree. And they came to the legislature and they met with me and they said, we'd like to do something for veterans. We'd like to pass legislation to help our veterans. And I showed them all of this model legislation from the states. I said, have you ever thought of having a Bill of Rights for veterans? So I saw this being done throughout the states. We have a Bill of Rights for patients in healthcare. We have a Bill of Rights for customers, all of these things. And so I said, we can have a Bill of Rights for veterans. And so we wrote that together with this cohort of young veterans. They said, all of us are now just transitioning out from the military. We're going to figure out our lives. When some of us are going back to school, some of us are looking for our health care benefits or whatever it was, education benefits. And I said, okay, so let's list your top priorities. So let's work with the GVAO. And so we were able to pass that legislation, write it together, advocate with our different senators, lobby for this to be passed. And so that was one of my greatest honors in the last term, to work with that group.
Well, that's great information. We're going to head to break.
Okay.
But we have more questions for you when we return.
Okay,
You're
let's
listening
do
to
it.
us on 93.3 The Point. You can call in at 671-888-TALK.
The following is a public notice lane closure announcement for the Ukudu pipeline replacement on Route 16 between Reventax and Marine Corps Drive, Route 1. The lane closure will take place starting in January till the end of June 2024 as a 24-hour continuous operation. The project, a 198-megawatt combined cycle power plant. Again, the closure will take place starting in January till the end of June 2024. For more information, please contact 671-649-0001. Thank you for your patience as we move forward for Guam.
And we're back. So we have Amanda Shelton in studio, and just want to read a few comments online. Knox says, "Hi, Papa Boy."
That's my grandson.
Oh.
And then we have this is the Veteran of the Week, Francisco Taitsano Guerrero.
Yeah.
He says, "Sue and HMI, it's humbling to know you're dear to our hearts too. Lil and I are truly grateful for honoring me for Veterans of the Week. Thank you for the free pizza. It would be our pleasure to be part of an outstanding organization. Should you be in need of extra helping hands, si Diyos maasi biba HMI."
Very nice.
Aw,
I
thank
just
you.
I just have to add that a famous phrase I always said was "Rangers lead the way." So I had to say that for Harry Blanco.
Rangers lead the way.
Is he on the? He's not listening.
I don't know if he's listening.
Okay.
He's in Saipan,
Oh.
but I told him about it.
Okay,
And,
good.
Yeah, he loves this Sergeant Major.
And I think we got a caller. Do you want to?
Yes, caller.
Okay, let's talk to the caller real quick, and then we'll get back online.
Hold on.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to talk to Amanda. Is she still there?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, hi, Amanda. Thank you. This is Lillian.
Hi,
Frank
Lillian.
Guerrero's wife.
Oh, hi.
I just like to thank you for mentioning about your work that you'd be doing in Congress.
Oh,
and
thank you.
when you mention Madeline, you know, it's kind of, what do you call that, heartfelt, because when I needed a veteran's record, which is my son, who's on remission with cancer, it was difficult to get his records. Lo and behold, I wrote to Madeline, you know, and she wrote to the Navy, whoever the higher-ups in Navy, we got their records.
Oh,
My husband, who served since 1963, he was missing some records. Robert Underwood was in Congress. That's his primo. We went to his office, and lo and behold, we got the records. So your voice is going to be our voice. Helping veterans is so appropriate that you're there, that you can pull records for those veterans that are having a hard time trying to get their records so they can file their disability. You know, it's difficult, most especially when they had a fire, like my brother-in-law who was, affected, and so he cannot obtain his records. So with you being there in Congress, that would help our veterans. And if there could be a conduit to either HMI or just someone that could help these veterans, most especially like my brother-in-law, who his record is on a microfiche. I went all over the place looking for a microfiche fish a machine, and they said it was a UOG. Then UOG said they had no use for it. They sent it over to the law library. Thank God we knew somebody, and I was able to go to the law library and print out his records.
Wow.
So these are the things that veterans encounter when they try to file their disability. So if you can be the conduit, like I said, it'd be really great to see some of our veterans get help.
Yes, thank you so much, Auntie Lil. Thank you for sharing, and congratulations to your husband. Thank you for his
Thank you.
service. Please give our regards to him. It's nice to hear from you.
Thank you.
Yes, I think what you're saying is so important, because one of the biggest things that a congressional representative does, almost 40% of a representative's time is spent on constituent work. And so just like you have seen the need in our community to help veterans individually access their benefits and just learn the process. I don't know how many people you've helped now through your boot camp, but I seem to be meeting more and more people who are telling me their success stories.
Awesome.
I'm just so thankful for what you've done. And that's the job of a representative as well, to be able to liaise between federal agencies and military partners to get these records or to help find these benefits and bring access to our veterans. And so, that's something that I, of course, have learned from working in the congressional office under Madeline, but also in the legislature. That has been a big part of our work, too, as policymakers in the Guam legislature, to be open to all of our constituents, to be advocates for whatever work that they need. And a lot of what I've done in the legislature has been because, we've had constituents knocking on the door asking for different services like job coaches for individuals with disabilities, or the Elder Justice Center that we saw a greater need for our Manamku who needed help in these legal services, all of these different things, or like the veterans who came knocking on the door saying, we want to do something for our group. We want to help our, our comrades who are also transitioning out of the military. And so that's how things work, how you are a representative of your community.
And that's the thing, right? If you look at, these are veterans in this room right now, and when you look at them, they're still doing work, right? And I think we all need a mission, right? Because if we're just sitting around, right, that's not normally what we do. And even if it's just, hey, your job is to carry water from here to here every day and know why you're carrying the water and what it does for them. Because initially when they tell us go do something, right, we have no clue why they tell us to do it. We just go do it, right? And once we do it, we start learning that, hey, there's a reason why we have to bring the water there, right? It's not just because they want to tell us to do something. When we bring the water there, this water takes care of X, Y, Z. And then now it becomes, man, that's a very important mission. We cannot stop not doing that. And that's kind of like what goes on with what we do. We get a bunch of veterans that, come on board to help and provide the help to all of our veterans out there. So that's why this movement, as somebody had called it, is continuing, because it's bigger than all of us, right? It's like, hey, this is about all our veterans. It's kind of like the Medal of Honor thing. That's even greater than most of the organizations that are here. There was only one negative comment, which was, what about all the other ones? So when that came out in the chat, I said, send the names, because we're going to push them through also. But what we have going, that's already in the works. Let it go. Give the other names and let's go after them, and let's find a way to make that work, because all the organizations can get behind that. And that's, I think, a great thing.
Yes, I think something that we've learned here on Guam is that it's never too late for recognition. And we can never stop trying. Like the war claims, right? We had our delegates throughout the years trying, each one of them trying, until Congresswoman Bradalio finally got it included, and then it got paid out in the last several years. To see, even though we lost so many of our war survivors, to see that recognition finally come to them and that compensation. So the same thing as we continue to fight for RICA in Congress, and that recognition every year from the legislature, we're passing a resolution to say this is something that we support. We need it extended to the people of Guam and the time frame extended. And that's just something that we won't give up, because we know, the people in power may change, but our long-standing historical issues are not going anywhere. So we'll continue. And as long as there are people like you folks who are passionate and ready to do the work and lead the way, and hopefully we can bring more people along with us as you continue to grow your movement and help more people, I think, they'll spread the word.
Yes. And then the other thing that we wanted to talk about was the change.org that was sent out.
Yeah, so what had happened was we got the information from the congressman's office and we pushed it out and said, hey, it looks like they're going to push this through Congress. We need everyone's support, right? So write a letter. Here's a sample of our letter. Push it out. Write it on your own. Do whatever, right? But get the information in and let's get it out showing that we have support. So somewhere along the way, somebody came up to me and said, hey, I'm going to do a change.org, put it together and sent it out. And maybe I'll just say the name, right? It's Jana Liu who did it, right? And she's a candidate for mayor down in Santa Rita. But I didn't tell her to do it. She created it, right? And she said, hey, let's do this. And even when she was doing it, another Charlie said, hey, why don't we do change.org? I said, I don't know. And it's short notice. Let's get it out. Whatever we got to do, let's do it. And she created it and pushed it out. Now, on change.org at the bottom, it says you can donate, right? None of that money comes to us. We at HMI didn't do that, and we don't get that money. But at the end of the day, right, it was just something that I was like, hey, guys, man, this is not about us. And even when you read everything, it's all about let's get behind our candidates for Medal of Honor and let's get this thing out there. And it was a lot of people jumped on board to really push their support. And that's the thing we need, right? We need something from our veterans and the organizations to say, look, this is a higher cause than all of us. And if we can get behind it, now we can see each other working together, right?
Absolutely, a very worthy cause.
Yes. So anyway, what else do we got?
And there was a button to opt out of donating.
Yeah, and that's
so
common
for future change.org people that do sign it, there's a way to opt out of donation, and that is sharing it, which is what the focus was, and it should have been, was not for an organization that only shared the information. It was to share it and push it out.
Yeah, and that's a great sign. And regardless of that little thing about somebody saying it's coming to us, hey, if that money comes to me, HMI can use it. We can give the money to our veterans at our boot camp. So but it's not coming to us. So just so that we clear that up. But let's get behind it, everyone. And we're not done yet. We still got to get it to Senate, and we got to get it to the president's desk to sign.
Signature. Yep. There's still a few more hurdles, but we're behind you. We're behind our Medal of Honor.
Yes, we have
nominees.
to be, because who else is going to do that? And there's talk of maybe doing something locally, right? These folks that are Medal of Honor recipients get invited to the inaugurations, right? Maybe that's something we can also allow locally, right? If our Congress don't want to recognize our people,
we can do it. Certainly.
We should come together and do that for our people. And there's not going to be a lot. I mean, right now we only have 3 of them, right? And if one of them comes, we just need 1 or 2 more chairs for our, our Medal of Honor. And
I think we'd all be honored to scoot to every elected official would be happy to scoot to the next row to let them in. Absolutely.
Yes. So that's something that we can do. I mean, they get free rides on the Space A. They get extra pay. I don't know that Gov Guam is equipped to give extra pay, but even just locally, if that's something we can all just get around and even just improve that, that I think would be good.
And I just want to say just some comments online. Brian Cregan, Dr. Cregan says, praise my vet friends. 52 families fed in Cebu by Open Arms Medical Mission. Vet donations are up huge. So we had him on 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's an Army veteran.
Yeah, combat also.
Combat Army veteran who is a doctor, and he does medical missions in the Philippines.
And he goes around out here, and so there's a lot of folks that are not talking about things, but they are out there.
And we're going to go to break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. 671-888-TLK, 93.3 on The Point. So we'll be right back.
KFC's new pizza?
Fried chicken? That's a pizza.
That's right. You think KFC's new pizza isn't pizza because it's made with crispy fried chicken? You think the marinara, mozzarella, and pepperoni aren't enough? Well, you're right. It's not pizza. It's pizza. Only at KFC.
Now on Guam for a limited time, the new KFC Chitza. Grab yours today at your favorite KFC restaurant or order at kfcguam.com. KFC, it's finger licking good.
And we're back. You're listening to Veterans with Benefits. We're on Monday nights, 6 to 7. Thank you to Jose, who loaned us an hour to talk about the partnership between Budweiser and Folds of Honor. And so in studio, we have our guest, Amanda Shelton. And I think we just had a few more questions. The show's almost over. I told you it would go by real fast.
Mm-hmm. So we wanted to hit the really tough questions now.
Ooh, okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Put the timer on.
Is this the part where I'm supposed to sing?
You're supposed to
Yes. Sing, yes.
No, I just have, I want to tell everyone first, these wonderful people put on a Zumba fundraiser the other night. Well, they invited me to a fundraiser and they didn't say it was Zumba first. And I already committed to it. And then I showed up and I danced for a night with some lovely ladies. It was great. I told them we're bonded for life because no one sees me dance, but they did.
It was fun.
She did really well. And I talked about this earlier, right? I don't know Zumba, right? And when I saw you guys out there doing this, I'm like, these ladies love this stuff. And I spoke to a handful of people outside prior to going up, right? And I said, hey, Zumba, we're doing Zumba up there. I said, man, we're working right now, but are you guys going to do this every day, right? I was like, every day? Are you kidding me, right? So they are very in tune with it, and they want to do this stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's in like every community center throughout the week. You can go to a Zumba class still.
It's great to stay healthy, right? So, and I saw you guys really enjoying it, number one. Number two, having a good time. So,
well, I'll do it again if Anthony and Sue join next time.
I was going to say, I
I'll
don't know,
be there.
did you have on the headphone, Anthony?
Yeah, some of us.
Jose said he's coming.
Okay,
Yay,
so then I'll
Jose.
definitely
Anthony,
be
no
there.
no spandex this time.
Yes, sir.
No.
All right. So here's the tough questions. So when elected to office, what can our veterans expect from you in terms of advocacy, support, and the advancement of policies that benefit their well-being and quality of life?
Well, I think they can expect what they've known me as their senator for these last 3 terms, these last 6 years. Someone with an open door policy, someone who's ready to listen and advocate whatever the needs of the community are. And I think one thing that I've really heard from our veterans in the last several months on the campaign trail, asking them what their biggest issues are. We all face the same issues here on Guam, the cost of living, crime, all of these things. And I'm also hearing a lot about healthcare and about, the needs for a greater community-based outpatient clinic or perhaps a veterans hospital here on island. They're not big, crazy, out of this world dreams. They're really, if you think about it, about how many veterans we have on this island, they're very realistic dreams to want this kind of care here, and to not have to say to someone, sorry, you got to take a plane to Hawaii or pay for your own plane ride to whatever state you want to go to receive your service, and maybe get that service or maybe not get that service. And to bring that home and bring those services here is what I see as most important, to keep our people here, to keep our veterans on Guam thriving and being able to age in place. That's one thing that I've learned as the chairperson of senior citizens throughout these last 3 terms, that It's so important to support our people to be able to live independently and thrive here at home, because this is where they want to be. This is where their families are. They don't want to go get treatment off island where they don't know anyone and they don't have the support system that they need. And so one of the things I've been thinking a lot about, and I know can be done through a congressional fix, congressional legislation, is to allow for doctors and healthcare professionals from neighboring places such as the Philippines or Taiwan, where we already go for healthcare, just like places like St. Luke's, where many of us and our families have gone for an executive checkup or some kind of surgery, to allow for reciprocity between our doctors in these places to come to Guam to service our veterans and to service our entire community, so that we have these specialists and these different types of medicine offered here at home. So that's just one of the things that I really am researching and looking into, how we can move that forward on the congressional level.
I think that I was going to say, not only keeping veterans here, but maybe bringing some back.
Yes, I know. I just met some of your friends through HMI who said they were coming to Guam from Japan to receive services. And I was thinking, wow, here are our veterans looking for places outside of Guam, searching for help and benefits outside of Guam. And there are people who are happy to come to Guam and want to come to Guam to receive these benefits. And yes, bring some of our veterans home who don't see Guam as a possibility because the services that they need are not here.
And so you spoke earlier about tourism, right? And medical tourism, here's one of the things, if we could just really touch on it, is it's what's known as the FMP program, Foreign Medical Program. So this program falls under the VA. So if a veteran in Philippines, Taiwan, Vietnam, Korea, and Japan, if they are at a 50% for mental health, the only services that the VA will allow them to take out there is mental health services. That same veteran flies into Guam, and Guam becomes their main hub. They get covered for everything at 50%. Now, we've been looking at needing to improve our services here. When we talk about needing a hospital and doing these types of things, Congress and the VA have been telling us we need numbers. If those numbers come here, those are the numbers that we can use to say we need more services. And then it invites and incentivizes us to build around that need. And unfortunately, it may not be folks from here, but because they're veterans, they can receive the service.
And their numbers will still count towards us. So what sometimes is frustrating for us here on Guam, because we're not always used to doing it that way, but everything in Congress is data driven. So we have to show the numbers of how many veterans we have here. We want them all to sign up with our Guam Veterans Affairs Office. We want them all to sign up with you folks so that we know truly how many people are here, whether or not you want to receive services. No one's going to force you into, getting a benefit, but we just need to know that you're here, because that is going to help us get the resources that we need for our entire community or for our visiting veterans, which I know that the people of Guam are so welcoming. We have the Hafa-Day spirit, the hospitality. We'd be happy to house and help these veterans if we had the services to do that.
No, I love that.
Okay. Anything?
You had
One more?
you have more questions.
Okay, I got one more question. Here, let's see. In your opinion, what can veterans in Guam or on Guam do to improve their own situation? And how do you plan to empower and engage them in advocating for their needs at a national level?
I think the first thing they can do is register as a veteran, check mark the box veteran every time it comes up, let people know that they are veterans, count toward Guam's number. That's going to help every single veteran on Guam. And one of the beautiful things in Congress is that there are so many resources for your office, for your jurisdiction that you can go after. And my experience with Madeline Berdalio's office is that we had veterans paid for by different agencies and organizations working in our office to be direct service providers to veterans, to be that direct link. I can't remember which organizations they were, but we had a few of them, like fellows in our office who worked who worked for the people of Guam. You know, they had no connection to Guam, but they got to serve in our office for a few months at a time. And these are certain programs that I'll definitely take advantage of because I know how beneficial they are to our veterans here on island. Just to have someone, I know that when a veteran sees you and they know that you're a veteran, that really makes a difference.
Yes,
I can go up to someone and say, hey, you should register to be a veteran. And then they'll be, you're a veteran? So, oh, no, sorry, I'm not a veteran. But when they see you, Karina, and they say, oh, you're a veteran? Yes. Okay, they're going to listen to you because they know you know and if you've experienced it. You know, as much as I can learn maybe from your boot camp, that I will never have the title of veteran to convince them, right?
Yes, we always talk about that invisible bond that veterans have. No matter what branch you served in, you're still a veteran. I mean, yes, we poke fun at each other. You know, Air Force, we're Chair Force. Army, what are you?
Army Hua.
Yes. Yes. So, but you know, talking to a veteran, another veteran, it's like a trust that we have with each other.
You have a special bond that you know people who are not veterans will never know or understand.
Yes.
So
let me just
we do
say,
have a warm place in our heart for veteran support.
yes, thank you. Yes, at the Women Veterans Day.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. I'm a woman. I'm a veteran supporter.
Yes.
So that's my title.
So online we have Roy Gamboa watching,
Hey, Roy.
and then Brian Cregan. Dr. Cregan says he did talk about this 2 weeks ago. He says free up the visas to get specialists here.
Yeah,
That's
Absolutely.
something. And then he says we need help with an exclamation point. So did you want to maybe touch on
Yes,
that?
sure. The Philippine visa waiver is something that I think everyone on Guam wants to see. We have so many family members in the Philippines, all of our connections here. We're also celebrating Philippine Independence
Yes.
Month.
It's also June
you know,
12th.
Yes, also
Yes.
June 12th, the same day as our Women Veterans Day. So we know we have this connection to the Philippines. There are people that want to come here for regular tourism. There are people who want to come here to visit their families, but there are also folks who want to come here to help our island and to bring us these medical services. And so that's definitely something we'll continue to fight for.
Okay. And lastly, because we're down to the last 3 minutes, is there something that I haven't asked you, but you believe is important for the veteran community to address or discuss in order to improve their position and well-being as veterans on Guam?
Well, I think they need to support folks like you, you know, register as veterans, get out there, spread the word, and just, you know, continue those connections between each other. Because I think that's how you've built up this momentum, is making connections, right? You've added me to a chat group where I'm seeing like so many veterans and all of these people talking, and you have this ongoing communication that's really, I'm sure, bringing a lot of inspiration and hope to people to see that there's help out there. And so I would say, get behind folks like you, get behind these organizations, because you know, when government can't meet every need that we have nonprofit groups and volunteer organizations that step in to help. And so I would say, get together, be a part of this, you know, support one another. And I would also say, I'll put a plug to register to vote, because if you're a veteran, maybe thinking that, you know, this election doesn't matter to you, I would say that this election is probably the most important election, as we face so many issues here on island. You know, the buildup is still happening here. We want to make sure that the impacts of the buildup are beneficial to the people of Guam, that we're all getting the best deal out of it as possible, that we're going to get our people skilled up and employed, and all of these things are going to happen for us. So we need people to vote so that we can have leaders who will make sure that these things happen for Guam. So register to vote and support your veteran organizations.
Thank you, Amanda. It was nice having you on. Next week, because it's June, is PTSD Awareness Month. We're having Raylene Titano on. She's a certified grief recovery specialist next week. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for the extra hour, Jose, Bob, and Ray. And you can catch the replay on YouTube and on Facebook. And you're listening to 93.3 The Point. See you next week.
Thank you.
That was fun.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
Israel warns Hezbollah. I'm Ted Lindner, Fox News. The warning comes after the terrorist organization's growing involvement in the Israel war with Hamas. IDF spokesman Admiral Daniel Hagari says Hezbollah has fired more than 5,000 rockets, missiles, and drones into Israel from its northern border with Lebanon since the Hamas war started on October 7th.
October 7th cannot, will not happen again on any one of Israel's border.
Hagari says Israel will continue its fight against all of Iran's proxies, no matter the location. A potential ceasefire with Hamas has not been agreed to after Hamas rejected the latest proposal, brought forward in part by the United States. Oakland County, Michigan community members gathering at the Woodside Bible Church in Troy Sunday.